Hi, welcome to another video on the Target Individual program, the Target Individual experience. So today I'm going to do a rehash of certain information, and then I'm going to put some new information in there, and then I'm going to you know do the video thing explaining the targeting that went on for the morning, right, as I went to take the kids to school and take Pam to work and on my way back. Okay, because there's a little different things that are happening. The use of some of the same people as well as new individuals. You'll see they will use children, which I'll point out and give you my interpretation of what was happening, because it will relate to what went on earlier in my targeting. Okay, so again, the use of police to intimidate, to harass, to threaten me in order to shut me up, in order to try to again intimidate me from speaking about the directed energy weapons, the remote neural monitoring, the concealment of their crime or their experimentation, the non-consensual human experimentation. Okay, so again, the continuing theme, which is based on covert type investigation. So I'm going to read some information and then I'll move on to other informations. Okay, so psychological warfare or manipulation in covert type investigation. Okay, so whether this is what they want you to believe, that you're being investigated, they want you to believe that they have something on you that gives them a reason or a purpose to engage in the psychological warfare. Now, this is what they are telling the civilian population, or some in the civilian population who have engaged in the PSYOPs campaign against you. Okay, they're again concealing the true nature of the covert psychological program, right, which is the coercive persuasion program, which involve the use of directed energy weapons as well as microchipping the target in order to convert their way of thinking, in order to discredit them by making them look crazy, by manipulating them into doing things, and then going to the general public and say this person is a threat, this person is dangerous. Okay, and again, people fall for this over and over again because they are promised the condition of anonymity, no prosecution against them, because again, the target, because it's a psychological, it's the target word, and when the target speaks about what's happening, he or she will be labeled with a mental illness. Okay, so just remember that. So in covert type investigations, all right, so individuals can use words, action, and sound that will make a target recall memories associated with a specific events. Okay, the observers can note the target's reaction, and I'm putting in some of my words in here, from such as fear, surprise, embarrassment, anger, and different emotions. Okay, so from these reaction, the observers can obtain clues to the level of involvement or knowledge that the target may have about a certain event. Now, this is true, but it's also not true in some sense, because with the use of what is called silent sound spectrum, Okay, they can create in your mind scenarios, words. They can uh, activate certain emotions that they will do to the target to give the appearance that the target is responded emotionally to the street theater. Okay, so they are, yeah, again, the people behind the scenes, the architects of this program, the people who created the technology, they know what it is that they're doing. They know that they have to manipulate, and both people are manipulated, the targets as well as the civilian perpetrators. Okay, they're both manipulated. Okay, and again, and I'll talk about that. Okay, so um, a simple example of this is if the targeted individual was involved in an event that have a specific location, the group can say the name of the location or like a street name. If the target does not associate this with anything or any memories, he will disregard the comment of strangers and have no reaction. If, however, the target does associate it with something, he may or may not have different reaction. Okay? This scenario may be repeated several times with different associated pointers to get a better view or result, like taking many measurements to obtain some kind of average or, again, a better view. Okay, the psychological manipulation scenario can also be used to stress or panic a target, or a possible motive would be to have them use some kind of telecommunication device that the target believes to be secure, and to possibly push the target to communicate with a partner that may also be involved in the event. So let me just pause right here. So again, this is how a lot of times we as TIs, we feel like we're being interrogated, right? So after a heavy dose of targeting, someone will call you, the TI, and they will start to ask you all kinds of questions, and you kind of get the feeling that you're being interrogated. All right, and it's not that you've committed any crime; it's the fact that you're put on the stress, you're put on the pain, whether it be psychological or physical. Okay, and then that puts you in a heightened state. All right, so anyone, whether a person may have done something or a person may not have done something, they may react differently, but if given enough time and given enough repetition of the coercive persuasion, they will react regardless. Okay, so a lot of things that they won't tell the perpetrators, the civilian perp, and the civilian perp will just believe whatever they said, hook, line, and sinker, and that's it. Okay, so let's move on. So there are many possible psychological manipulation type scenarios that can involve the use of sensitive information or dark secret. You may have seen the movie The Bad Guy say something like, "Get me some dirt on this guy." The information would be used to intimidate the target or induce fear, stress, or paranoia. Pause here. Have you ever heard of COINTELPRO? Well, COINTELPRO is a program run by the FBI and along with several state and city police agencies, law enforcement agencies, in which if they wanted to stop a particular person or a group of people from running for political office or from helping the community, okay, talking about groups like the Black Panther, La Raza from out of Puerto Rico, a lot of indigenous Native American groups who were basically fighting for their rights and for the betterment of their people. And so the FBI would use informants, paid informants, okay, within those groups. They will plant people within those groups to basically destroy those groups from within. They will also blackmail people who are running for political office, who the FBI deemed a threat to the status quo. So they will basically drug, frame, set up that individual, and then use the information to blackmail the individual into not running for political office or for not starting a business or what have you. And also, they use to break up marriages. If the person refusing to do what the FBI wanted, and they couldn't set them up, or they attempted to and it failed, they will use honey traps. They will drug the individual, put them in a hotel room. As they're drugged, they will get prostitutes that have STDs to sleep with those individuals, and then those individuals go home, have sex with their wives or their husbands, and they will give their wife or husband STD, and then therefore they will break up their marriage. Okay, so a lot of underhanded tactics they use, and they still use them today. Okay, you think COINTELPRO is over? It is not over. It is now magnified 1,000 times, particularly with the use of direct energy weapons, mind control technologies, as well as microchipping the individual, to basically condition or change the mindset of that individual. And it's, remember, it's never for the benefit of that individual. It's for the detriment of that individual. Okay? All right. Okay, so the information can be used to intimidate the target or induce fear, stress, paranoia. This type of scenario can easily fall into the classification of blackmail, where the target is in a catch-22. The target would have to reveal sensitive information or dark secret to law enforcement in order to obtain some kind of help or assistance. His claim will then be simply dismissed as paranoia or delusions. And even if his claim would happen to be believed, there simply would be no proof or evidence. Okay? So, psychological warfare. The three top priorities are objective: discredit or destroy the victim credibility, to conceal psychological warfare knowledge, eliminate the victim's means of subsistence or resource. Okay, so here's some identified weapon, which we all as TIs can identify with. Okay, psychiatry to attack the psychological integrity and credibility of victims, the weapon of degrading theme, such as pedophilia, or the use use that as a threat to prevent exposure, and also during the week with the heavy targeting, using teenage girls. There was this one particular teenage girl that was walking on the block with another teenager, a boy, and walked towards me, started doing some hand signals. She was wearing a yellow shirt. She started grabbing on the yellow shirt, kept pressing her thumb against her shirt, and looking at my son Ethan. Now the next day, as I went to pick up Ethan, he had chess, and this was around minutes to 5. I'm walking with my daughter. The same teenage girl then comes out of the back entrance of the high school, right? As I'm passing her, she comes out of the back entrance and she looks at me. Same teenage girl, okay? So again, trying to use the threat of pedophilia, right, to prevent me from exposing what they're doing, all right? And then the weapon of homelessness, or eliminating a person's means of subsistence and financial resources. Now, I've done videos where I've showed you where they use homeless people, including the video I did yesterday, driving to take the device to a location where, as I'm driving by a school, you see a homeless guy pushing a cart, and then another homeless guy standing at the corner, right? Just standing there, okay? So, both of these guys, they wasn't the typical dirty, clothes all filthy homeless people that they normally use, but they were a little more cleaned up. But you can tell that they're homeless. I can tell, okay? Or it could just be actors, who knows? But that's the theme in which they're trying to do, okay? So when psychiatry attacks the victim's psychological integrity and credibility, it makes the victim more vulnerable to the phenomenon or crime of criminal harassment or psychological warfare, and it also conceals the related knowledge. A high level of sleep deprivation can lead to mineral deficiency and acid-base disorder that can result in serious illness or even death. So again, when they use psychological warfare on you, you start to develop illness, you start to get sick, you go to the doctor passes it off as something that's just naturally occurring, okay? But it's not. It's something that is induced, right? And then high level of sleep deprivation can be used to overwhelm the victim's body and lead to cancer again. So lately, another TI had committed suicide. Those sort of things. Now, you think these people are going to be held responsible? No, they're going to put the blame on the TI, right? So this is what they do, and this is how they have gotten away with this for many years, many years, okay? And certain TIs have fight back, and in some of the most violent way. And like I said, I don't condone it, but I don't blame them. All right. So psychological warfare is an invisible technology which deals with the mind, and destroying the victim's credibility in order to prevent exposure is a top priority. Destroying the victim's credibility also results in feelings or the belief of hopelessness. Advanced technology together and psychological manipulation are also used to make the victim's claims more unbelievable, or to make dismissing these claims easier or more justified. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop this right here, and then move on to something else. Okay, it's within the same realm. So the use of police to harass, intimidate, to try to create a false sense of hope within the victim, to do noise campaign again, and also to make the person believe that they're on the investigation, right? And then they're trying to send the target subliminal threats about having false witnesses against the target that they can use to get the target arrested for whatever reason, right? And if that don't fail, they'll do a number of things. If they can't approach the target, they will try to stage accidents in which they will try to blame the target, okay? And they'll have people around during that accident that was caused by the perpetrator. They will all blame the target of the accident, like what they tried to do with me yesterday, okay? And so also to try to get targets to confess to crimes they didn't commit, right, in order to lock them up, okay? So the reason that people falsely confess are complex and varied, but what they tend to have in common is the belief that complying with the police by saying that they committed the crime in question will be beneficial than continuing to maintain their innocence. So again, me talking about what's being done, there's the constant threat of being arrested, the constant use of police to try to intimidate me, right? The constant subliminal being sent of using false witnesses, right? And that I should be quiet, right? And then when I don't shut up, I keep doing my video, then it's like, well, if you're talking, we're going to use this witness, and we're going to, accuse you of a crime. And when we arrest you, you're going to confess, right? If you don't confess, we're going to target your kids, we're going to target your family, we're going to deport you, you're going to do all this stuff, right? So I'm going to read something. Okay, the factors that can contribute to false confession during a police interrogation include duress, coercion, intoxication, diminished capacity, mental impairment, ignorance of the law, fear of violence, the actual infliction of harm, the threat of a harsh sentence, misunderstanding the situation. Let's talk duress. As TIs, we're constantly placed under duress because of the coercive persuasion. Again, coercion, going alongside coercive persuasion. Trying to get you drunk. For example, going out to dinner, putting drugs in your drinks, okay, to incapacitate you, to make you more susceptible to the coercion, and therefore try to make it easy for you to confess to a crime that you didn't commit, okay? Diminished capacity. So people who, you're tired, you don't have the energy, they'll keep beating you, punching you down until you submit, until you confess. Mental impairment. For those of us who have been, and we all have been psychologically damaged by this, okay, some more so than others, okay? So once they break you down, right, to the point where you have you start to develop some form of mental illness, then they will try to come and arrest you to, again, have you falsely confess to a crime that you didn't commit. Okay, the threat of inflicting of harm, they do to me all the time. The threat of a harsh sentence, they probably do this to other TIs. How they would do it. Actually, they do it to me, because let me give you an example. So early on in my targeting, I came home from work one day, and then my nephew and his girlfriend had came over, and the minute they walked through the door, they came and they asked me, do I have the movie Daybreak, right, which is starring Sylvester Stallone. So I was like, yeah. So it's like, okay, come, let's watch it. So at the time, again, because I was being heavily targeted, I was easily influenced. So we all sat down, put the movie in, watching it. Then there's a scene where it was about these prisoners that's being transferred, and during the Harlem Tunnel, through the Harlem Tunnel, there was an earthquake or something, and then everybody was trapped and they were trying to get out. Now all these prisoners had on orange jumpsuit. So when there was a black guy and he gets out of the bus, right, the correction bus, and again he had an orange jumpsuit. The minute he got out of the bus, my nephew and his girlfriend, stick their finger in their ears and started grabbing their ears. Now, the next day, I went to work, and I kid you not, standing at the corner of my block, there was a guy wearing an orange suit, orange jacket, orange pants. Okay? Then, following that, in coming months, the frequency of which people wearing the color orange was astronomical. And again, I didn't know I was being, conditioned. I didn't know they were using neurolinguistic programming, right? Dark NLP, creating triggers and anchors. Okay, I didn't understand that, I didn't know that, right? So that was it. So I guess that's it. Misunderstanding the situation, causing confusion within the TI can also get the TI to falsely, or the individual to falsely confess. Okay, they also do it to juveniles. Okay, so confession obtained by juveniles are often unreliable, but that's not true when it comes to black children. Okay, just as the Central Park Five, these were young teenagers who, under duress, under the threat of bodily harm, harsh jail sentence, confessed to committing a crime that they didn't do. Okay, and it wasn't until many years later that they were exonerated. Okay, but when it comes to children of color, okay, when they said confession obtained by juvenile are often unreliable, they will still use that unreliable confession to convict children of color. Okay. Okay. Also, people with mental disabilities. You hear about the program run by the FBI, in which they were going around the country, okay, involving people who have mental illness or low mental capacity, to manipulate them into committing a crime, which of course was all fake, and the FBI would arrest these individuals. Okay, and so again, this is something that they use. All right. Okay, the threats of torture, again, law enforcement do that, and they can't lie about it. Okay, it's documented. You have black sites in Chicago. They have black sites here in New York too. Okay, as well as LA, in probably all major U.S. cities. Okay, again, so just want to give you just a little bit of information there. All right. Now, also, when it comes to the misconduct of police officers, okay, abduction, okay, they have tried to do that to me plenty times. I've been standing on the street corner, and all of a sudden they'll come with a van, all tinted out, the windows all tinted out, driving by slowly. That kind of, again, tactics to try to scare me with the threat of abduction. Coercion, again, we talk about discrimination. We went through that a lot earlier in my targeting. They were using white supremacist Nazis, KKK. I would leave my job, and there would be a skinhead at the corner, smoking a cigarette, staring me down, looking me up and down, again to try to intimidate and try to scare me. Okay, extortion. I thought about yesterday, the conversation with the super of Pam's building. Like, I felt like he was either trying to extort money from me, or they were trying to pay me off into being silent. And intimidation again, that obstruction. They will constantly obstruct, TI, or constantly obstruct, people who have not committed crime, that who they want to arrest for whatever reason of a crime they didn't commit. They will do everything. If evidence is found that the person didn't commit the crime, they will hide the evidence in order to obstruct that person from being absolved from that crime. And perjury, they lie all the time. Okay, so just something to think about. And I'm putting this information out there because there are people who are following law enforcement blindly. Okay, and again, a big part of it is their religious belief. And for those in religious cults who have members that are in the police department, such as let's say Scientology, right? So we know what Scientology do. There's documented evidence. They show that Leah Remini has done, trying to expose what Scientology is all about. Religious organizations do this all the time. Okay. And so it's like, for me, every time I walk by a Catholic church, the perps, they always looking at the church and looking at me. I guess trying to send me subliminal message that the church is involved. You don't got to do that. I already know religious organizations are involved, and a lot of members who are strong believers in whatever faith they are members of law enforcement, as well as within the secret government not secret government agencies, but security government agencies such as the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Defense, that sort of thing. Okay, so I already know that. So we're dealing with a destructive cult, but this destructive cult is based with has as a large group base of different groups in society, different people in society. Okay, so this article, yes, the FBI is America's secret police, and sometimes I feel that's exactly what's going on here. There is some type of secret police that's doing this, and again, this is to protect the perpetrators of these crimes from being outed, right? When they want to experiment on people, they will find ways to experiment on anybody, and they will find ways to prevent that person from coming forward to expose what's going on. So I recommend people read this article. It's from The Hill at thehill.com, and you guys can read up about it. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm debating whether I should end this video and then do another video. Let's see how long this video is. Okay, because I don't want to make this video too long, but I may have to. So let's continue, and I'm gonna start with the video from this morning. Let's see here.
For some, you add it all together. Kanye is very selfish and self-centered.
Okay, so starting off first, all right? So got the kids in the car and waited for the car to warm up. I waited for 5 minutes. And I'm looking at my side mirror, looking at my rearview mirror, and there was a yellow cab on the other side behind me. Now, like I said, I've been there for like 5 minutes. The cab was behind me, wasn't moving. The minute I started to pull out of the parking space, the cab driver, pull out of the parking space really fast so you can get in front of me, and at this point you'll see, and I'll explain what's happening. Okay, so I had to stop to let him go because he pulled out of that parking space really fast. And I noticed that, and that's the reason why you'll see me pull out slowly, because I recognize what's going to happen. Now, see this guy over here? He is staring at his phone. Okay, now he wasn't there when I came downstairs with the kids. When I got in the car, he was walking and he stopped right there. Okay, just standing there. He didn't have his phone out. Like I said, the minute I went to pull out and I saw the yellow cab behind me just, pull out of that parking space really fast so he can drive in front of me, then the dude takes out his phone and starts to look at it. Okay, so I'm starting driving really slow. So again, the vehicle here, parked up, has the lights on. Okay, there's no reason for his hazard light to be on. The driver was in the car. Now, see, as I approach, and I approach slowly, and that's the reason why I drive slowly, because I wanted to show what was happening, because I know there was psyops at play here. Of course there are. I'm a TI. I've done plenty of videos on this. So this Jeep right here, okay, this Jeep started parking on this block about 6 or 7 months ago, okay, and again, the license plate, there's the number 32 in there. So the guy, it's an Asian guy, standing on the sidewalk, his car door open. As soon as he sees me approach, he's going to then enter into his car, close it up. Now again, if you can do full screen, you'll probably see the number. All right, the license plate number has the number 32 in it. Okay. So now, look at where the cab driver is at. Okay, and then there is plenty of space here. And he's not going to turn, but he's in the right side as if he's going to make the right. Okay, but no, because he wants me to pull up behind his cab, which is the yellow cab. Okay, again, yellow signifies that I'm scared, I'm yellow, which I am not. Okay, now early on, you don't know what's going on. Again, they try to condition you with a fear-based conditioning, and then when they see that you starting to fight back, then they will attack you. They will try to tell you that you're scared. They'll try to use degrading themes like, you're not a man, you're a boy, that sort of thing. Because the minute I started fighting back, people will walk past me and be like, oh boy. Or, they're like, oh boy. Repeatedly, constantly. So again, I didn't understand what was going on. Basically trying to demean you as a man, demean me as a man. And I'm sure they do something similar to women. They may call them little girls or try to call them prostitutes and stuff like that. Kind of, again, degrading, demeaning themes. Okay, and that was a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. But anyway, let's continue. Now, here's where they're gonna change up their tactics. So usually, if I'm driving out here, they're usually perps along the side here targeting usually teenagers, and the intersection here. But you can see this morning, you know, basically it's pretty empty, right? I mean, there's people walking around, but normally there'll be tons of people, a lot more, way more people walking down here. See these teenagers going to school? The high school is right here. Okay, like I said, normally there's tons of people walking, but today there isn't, because again, when one tactic fail, they will readjust and do another tactic. So today I'm taking my daughter to school first, okay, because she insisted that I take her to school first. Again, this is how they influence children with the technology. And of course, as a parent, you know, I was like, okay, you know what, I mean, we're a little early, I can take you to school first, right? Okay, let me speed this up a little bit. And 4320320, okay? Now, as I drove past, this girl, she does the hand signal, right? I want to do it. Let me take off my watch here. So let me go back. So she does the hand signal. She's going to take her hands and put over up to her head, or sometimes behind the back of her head. There you go. See that? Okay. All right. So drop my daughter off. Got back in the car. Me and Ethan. Also, okay, so you'll see I did a slight pause because normally I would turn here and just go down this block right here. I mean, this is, you know, less than a couple feet just to make the right and turn. But today, as I came out of the parking lot, I looked to see they're going to position a van right there at the corner, and the van is going to stop right there, okay? And there were 2 cars behind that van, okay, both honking so that the driver of the van would move. He did not move. He wouldn't move. Okay, so now, hold on a second, let me see. I don't want to get flagged for the music, you know, I want to get copyright flagged. So anyway, so I had to turn down here and drive all the way to this street, to the intersection here, so I can make the right. You know, this is what I try to avoid, because again, you know, this is a longer way. All right, now let's see here. I've missed something here. So see, as I approach, this guy tug on his ears. Okay. And of course, there's a reason why, you know, that van stood there, because obviously they want me to go here. Why? Because as I turn, you'll see the police vehicle right here. Lights flashing. And you see how it's turned? Okay, so the front of the police car, cruiser, it's out in the street. So that means that this, whatever car is coming, going on that direction, will have to move to the right in order to go down that street. Okay? Alright, now you can see it's not moving. So it's not to say like, okay, well, it's gonna, you know, he's pulling out the parking space, but he's going to stay there. And again, remember, new linguistic programming, okay? Remember the repetitiveness, and sometimes it don't have to be repeated, you know, 5 or 6 times. Sometimes it can be done twice. So you're going to see here, all right? Okay. Now, see the vehicle. Again, the construction worker, yellow hat. This vehicle positioned the same way that police vehicle, as I showed you with the lights flashing, was positioned, with the front sticking out in the street. Okay? Let's go. So again, pull up to drop Ethan off from school. Okay. So this car leaves, and you know, I wasn't gonna stay right there because again, there are other parents that's coming to drop off their kids, and so you know, I decided I'm gonna pull up closer to this car.
You're mad in the first place, and you put up our text conversation.
Oh, Ethan, hold up. Let me pull up so somebody else can park behind us.
Because you got stung.
Okay, so the minute as I pull up behind this vehicle, number 32, watch this teenager right here. Starts with the hand signal. Let me go back 10 seconds.
First place, and you put up our text conversation.
Oh, Ethan, hold up. Let me pull up so somebody else can park behind us.
Because you got stung.
Bows his head. Started with the hand signals.
Because you know you can't out rap and out real J. You can't out truth J. Cole. You can't out rap Kendrick. And you can't out make hits Drake at this point. And while you influence a lot of these people at a
now. Again, looks at his watch. Another teenager. See that? Okay, let's go back. Okay, there you go. Looks at his watch. Then he touches his ears. Okay, let's go back. Watch. This guy says bye. Then he touches his hair, actually, not his ear. He touches his hair, right? Again, this number, again, is a number that they are using as a trigger. Okay? Now, what they've placed into my mind, whatever anchor, again, don't register, but because again I recognize the manipulation tactic and techniques. Now also, you see, after I you know, I drop Alyssa off first, we're not Ethan, drop Ethan to school, you know, there's no police car. Now if I had done it the opposite way, drop Ethan off first, go drop off Alyssa, came back behind the street, they would, I guarantee there would be a police car parked up there. Okay, all right, so let's see. So again, you know, the pedestrians walking up and down, perhaps very little to no targeting. Okay, now There's usually full of perps walking right after each other in both direction, you know, doing all these hand signals and stuff like that, very deliberately. But again, they will again adjust their targeting, right? And I've talked about this. Okay, and you hear the sirens outside. All right, so let's go. All right, so now here is your perp again. Okay. And I'm going to speed up some of this to get to a certain targeting that you'll see what's going on. All right. Okay, so now he's gonna get some help. So this guy, right? He's gonna get some help. This perp right here. And you can view this full screen. You'll see it better. Okay. So this guy comes out of the store, and you're like wondering, what is he looking at? So he's staring at this woman that's gonna be walking up. He's looking to see if I'm gonna look at her. He's looking. And the minute I looked at her, he turns around. Okay? Now look at both of them. Look. Alright? I want you to see this. The minute I look at her, he turns around. Now they start touching his face. Now you see the girl walk by, stuck her hand in her ears. See that? Psyops. Okay, let's go again. Comes out the store. He's looking at her. He's looking at me, staring at me now. Let's see if I'm looking. The minute I look at her, he's gonna turn. He comes back. Okay? Whatever he says, say something to her. Now they both. Then she touches her ears. I'll put her hands sort of like this. You know? Couldn't really tell whether she touched her ears, what have you, but it's always a hand signal, something. It's something. Okay. There is a particular. Alright, let's see here. Okay, see this woman with her child? See how now the girl, she's going to stick her finger in her ears. Okay? This is what she's going to do. And then she stops, looks up at the sky, and continue walking. Alright, see now they're mixing it up. So now they're using Caucasians now. Okay? So as this guy and his son walks by, okay, you'll see that he takes his hands and put it in his pocket. But while he's doing that, as he's about to put his hands in his pocket, he's going to stick his thumb out. And of course, that's a natural thing for you to do. But again, it's subliminal, right? Sticking out of the thumb. See that? It's very quick, very fast. You have to pause the video in order to see it. Now this woman comes there. She grabs her scarf. She looks up at the window. And she's going to stand there. Okay, this is the corner of the street, but she's standing right here. Again, these two couples walking by. Again, Caucasian. You see the repeated pattern? She starts playing with her hair. He does the hand signal with the thumb, and they keep walking by. Then she walks over. Again, you can't help but touch their clothes right there in your present if you're a TI. Okay. As he looks, let's see. He starts walking off. He looks back at me, bows his head down, and walks off. The guy comes with a gray sweater. He had his phone in his hands. He put it in his jacket pocket. Let's do it again. You'll see. Guy comes back to have his phone in his pocket. Now he walks off. He crosses his hand across his stomach. Looks at me. Walks off. Look at the garbage can. Okay, so the guy in the gray sweater, because you might not be able to pick it up or see it, but what he does is that he takes one of his hands, puts it behind his back, take his thumb, sticks it in his back pocket with the palm of his hands with 4 fingers sticking out as he turned around so I can see. And as he's walking, see he has the hands, the thumb in his pocket with his 4 fingers, his palms facing up towards me. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, here. Let me give you this is a great masking technique that they'll do. So, see this guy coming up here? Okay, he keeps looking down at his phone. She keeps looking down at his phone. You know, looks up again, keeps looking down at his phone. Crosses his arm against his stomach. Alright, now he touches, he's having headphones. He has headphones on, so you're going to touch one of the headphones, then act as if he's fixing both of them. Again, it's the same thing as if he didn't have headphones on, sticking his finger in his ear or pulling on his ear. Okay, so he's standing there. No cars coming. He can cross it anytime. Now understand, hey, the light says don't walk, but look at everybody else. Remember, no car coming in there. No car's turning, nothing. Okay. This guy with the hand signal again. Look how long he's standing there. No car turning. Okay, guy comes with this guy here walking. All right, so it says walk, there he walks. Okay, but come on, this is New York, right? We all know that you know, you stand up there for 3 minutes, no car coming, you're gonna stand across the street and not cross the street. Come on, you know. And then the guy turns around, looks at me. Okay, all right, here we go.
I must say, by your songs, I'm an impressed page, but I love to see a black.
No. Let me see if this.
That was just a segue. I must.
All right, so I see this girl walking here. Let me lower the volume again, because again, copyright infringement. Don't want that because they will mute my video. So she's walking. Now this is the same girl in the video that I had yesterday, that she had the very long nails and she touched her nose with her nails. She's going to, as she crosses the street to where I'm parked, you'll see her stare at her nails. Okay, so see that? And then she continued walking with her head down. Alright, so look. Then stare at her nails. Then she walks fast, bows her head. Okay. All right. Your next perp, young guy. As he walks across, he starts flicking his hands, touching his nose. Right? Then he's gonna start pressing his thumb against his pants, bows his head, and walks off. Okay? Now look at this guy. He's gonna come, gets to the corner, pinches his nose right there. Then guy walks by with an orange cap and then bows his head. Another perp right here. Young, I think they get people of all ages. As she's walking by, and if you just full screen, you'll see she has her, I guess right arm. It would be her left. It'd be her left arm. Okay. And she has her thumb pressed in the palm of her hands. Okay, that's the palm that's facing towards me. And you can pause it and stop it, and also closing up the mouth. Let's see here if I can show you a good example. Yeah, look at them touching all over their clothing. That's a theme, not a theme, but that's something that we as TIs we see all the time. Soon as these civilian preps or pedestrians get close to us, they'll start to touch themselves. If women carrying pocketbooks, they'll start to take their pocketbook off their shoulder, fixing it. You know, a whole host of things. All right, now let me go back before you miss this one. So see this guy coming up here? He has a mask on. Takes his phone out. Looks. See that? Now you're gonna see that repeated, but in a different way in the end of this video. Okay. going to miss a couple of stuff here because I want to get to this part. Okay, so these two white guys. Okay, again, you'll see they use a lot of Caucasian people this morning. So they're going to walk across, they're going to stand up right here, as if they're talking to somebody. You're not talking to anybody. You stand up right there, start doing a hand signal, he takes his phone out, turns his back. Okay, now watch what's going to happen. Okay, guy walks up with a gray sweater. This cab, you think this cab is turning, right? Look at the angle in which she's coming in at. Okay? This guy points up to the sky. Okay? Subliminal threats. Followed by NYPD. Okay? He walks off. Now again, they'll, like I said, adjust, use different tactics. I'm gonna miss a couple of stuff here because I just wanna. I know this video is gonna be long, and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Okay. So, all right, let's go here. I guess I'll go back. Again, walks by, put his hands over his mouth. Here. Again, this is psyops at work. Okay, psychological operation, psychological warfare at work. Now I'm waiting for quite a while now. I'm waiting for Pam. Okay, so you guys see every time I'm waiting for Pam, I'm waiting at least 25 to 30 minutes just so I can take her to work. Okay? And the thing that she will say, hey, you know, Nigel is waiting for me. Let me hurry up, get dressed fast. No. But when you're a TI and you're involved in a relationship with someone, they will condition that person to not think, not be considerate of the things that you do, to abuse you psychologically, and to take you for granted every opportunity they get. And the reason why I take her to work is because, you know, I'm trying to get her to work early, but she doesn't care. Also, you know, also kind of wanted to capture the psyops, you know, as it's being played out. That way I can show, explain exactly what's being done. she's me. You know, she's looking at the guy that went across the street. He's wearing a blue jacket. You know, this is what they do. And they swear that she's walking across the... Pause my video. This is what they do. This is the extent that these people will go through. And again, woman in the black and yellow, she's walking across the street. She's me. You know, she's looking at the guy that went across the street. He's wearing... All right, she also did a hand signal, which I forgot to mention. Let me go back so you guys can see. Will go through. And again, see, woman in the black and yellow, she's walking across the street. Can't really see that well because it's, you know, she's looking at the guy that went across the street. He's wearing a blue jacket. They again, they train these civilians exactly what to do. If you're recording, they know, you know, what your camera is capable of capturing. So to do stuff that your human eye can see so much further, because everything is so much bigger, you're able to pick up those things. These cell phone cameras have very small sensors, so you have a very limited depth of view and field of view, and also the distance, right, in which you can see further, a lot bigger, so you can pick up those things. So as she was over here, I already seen her doing the hand signals and stuff like that. So I was attempting to describe it, but I forgot to mention she was doing hand signals. I'm going to explain exactly what it is that they're doing, right? So again, this is what they're going to do. They're going to keep sending these negative threats because they see me talking on the camera. They know that I'm not shutting up. They know I'm not going to become quiet. So it's going to be a theme that they're going to run over and over again. Okay? That's it. But they keep trying. And the reason is, like you said, these people have passive aggressive. The architect of these sort of program, they are the manipulators. They are sadistic. They want to win, and by any means necessary, they will win, or they will try to win. Okay? Even if it means, if they can't win, what they'll do is that they'll have you kill yourself, okay, and they'll manipulate you, mind control you into committing a crime that they can lock you away for. They can try to manipulate you so much that your mind becomes totally screwed up, and then they'll institutionalize you to remove you from society. Okay, because you're that one person that they cannot control. Okay? Let's remember this. So again, I see that they are changing up their tactics. As I read before, if one tactic fails, they have many others to go by. They will adjust, they'll come back, and they will change it up. Okay, and so here you see him come back out again. So whenever he comes back out, there's street theater involved in this individual. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that when I edit this video. Guess who's back? Alright, so you see the guy walk by, takes out his phone, he leaves, then the other guy right here goes back in. He's gonna come back out again, because they're not done, because they know that I'm not. They're gonna look at this guy here with the middle finger. Alright, so this individual, he leaves, then the other guy right here goes back in. Here. He's gonna come back out again, because they're not done, because they know that I'm not. They're gonna look at this guy here with the middle finger. Real quick, real fast. So they're not smart. They're getting exposed. So now, dude is behind me, you know, watching his phone, puts it back in his pocket, puts his hands over his mouth to try to tell me to be quiet. So again, you see, they want you to believe that you're not effectively exposing what it is they're doing. All right, so I'm going to mute the sound because, again, you know, this is the theme, and they're going to play the color theme here. Okay, so as Pam, this is Pamela right here, as she's walking down across the street, synchronized with this person here wearing a red sweater. Okay, look how she is looking up at the window. Okay, this is what she's looking up at. Now, why would she be looking up at the window? Okay, now she starts playing with her hair. Okay, so this is Pam, right? Let's go back again. I want you guys to see the synchronization that's going on. So here she comes, he goes. Now he's gonna fold his mouth. He's gonna do this. Okay, before he reaches over here, he's gonna do that. And he sees me talking on the video, as I'm doing the video, and then he's gonna go, you know, or sometimes they'll do, okay, like you talk too much, you know. But anyway, yes, I talk too much, and I'm pretty damn proud of it. Exposing you mother effers is something I've dedicated a lot of my time to doing. Okay, all right, so again, Pam is walking behind. She's gonna be walking over here, crossing the street. Right here. Now let's concentrate on Pam now. So she looks over here. She's crossing the street. She's not looking to see if any car is turning, but she's looking in this direction. What is she looking at? She's looking at the shutter, this gray shutter. The other video I talked about, parked on the other side of the street, people walking by looking at the shutter of the abandoned building. Again, the gray shutter. She's doing the same thing here. Then as she, look, right, turns around, look at the window. Now, no concern for her own safety, right? Because a car could be turning here, right? But again, when they have you under mind control, okay, this, you know, sending her transmission instructions of what to do, she's just going to do it, right, without thinking twice about her own safety. Okay? People would recognize them, understand what's going on, but that's what they do. Hey.
Oh, this hair's all in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Brush it when I get to it. Girl's eyeing me down like I owe her money.
Oh, really?
That little girl, she just...
We should get out and ask her what she's looking at.
What you looking at?
Okay. Now, see this guy right here? Let's go. As I'm approaching, he's going to walk towards the street and he's going to put his hands over his mouth. See that? See that action? View this full screen. You might not be able to make it out completely, but that's what he does. Okay?
It's for the dinner or the snack for the children.
What's
this for?
Because you're picking me up.
Now you hear me say, "What's this for?" Is because all of a sudden she is giving me money for snacks for the kids, right? Now, which I find very peculiar because she's never given me money to for I shouldn't say that, but I should say on the day that we are going grocery shopping, to which, you know, after I get the kids from school, you know, we go to pick up from a job, I always stop by McDonald's, and I always, you know, pay for the kids' food, okay, including my own and hers if she wants anything. So all of a sudden today, she gives me $20, and I'm like, what was this for? You know?
Okay. So you give
And
me
you'll see me attempt to extract information out of her, but again, they train her, so she's very smart.
the first time you ever give me money?
Oh, shoot.
Why you give me money, Pamela?
That's not the first time.
It is the first time.
That's not true.
And
Now.
I'm
Yes, sir.
arguing her that it is because it is the first time, and she's going to deny it because she knows we're being recorded.
I've done it before.
It is. No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you have not.
I
Every
do.
time I come to pick you up and we go grocery, I'm the
I
one
do.
always taking the kids to get. You never give
Okay,
me money.
I'm not arguing. Oh,
I know you're not arguing because you haven't.
that's not true. But okay.
It is very true.
All right, Nigel.
So, how can you give me $20, Pam? Answer the question.
I'm not.
Why are you not answering the
You see, she says I'm not. Okay.
question?
Again.
Because I'm not arguing with you.
It's not arguing. I just asked you a question.
I just, I,
Man.
I
You know,
realized, like,
I'm telling you, it's you know, they try to be slick. They try to be slick, but you know, and try to be smart. But I'm smart too. I'm not stupid. Okay, so let's go. Now, I know this video is long, but again, I have to show you guys exactly what's going on, and so I have to do this. This guy here, the minute he sees me, again, you know, again, this is a new route that I just started taking, and of course they're gonna adjust. So now they're gonna put perps, civilian perps, you know, along that path. So this guy here, he sees me, he takes out his phone out of his back pocket, and he's staring at it, and then you're gonna see I turn the camera towards him, and he puts his phone back. Okay? Again, these people try to be slick. All right, let's forward. And, you know, of course, it's not so much today. Now, all this time, as we've been driving, as you see, Pam hasn't touched her hair, anything like that, but the minute we come up on this lady that's getting into her vehicle, she's wearing a purple coat. Now, purple is a color that they use in my conditioning. They used to do repetitive people wearing the color purple one after the next, you know, multiple times. And again, when things happen very, very frequently, more so than not, it's a conditioning phase. Okay, something is going on. So the minute she sees the lady getting in her car that have on the purple jacket,
They're not gonna bring it
out.
on the
It's
show.
being-
it's being
unrealistic to
I'm
ask.
here. How are you?
'Cause it's itching me, Nigel.
all right, and then I mentioned, I was like, what happened to your hair? Why you keep touching your hair? And she's like, cause it's itching. Her hair is not itching her. Okay, again, you know, masking. This is masking technique, right? To try to alleviate my defense mechanism, and also when I'm explaining this in the video, to make it seem like she had a legitimate reason for all of a sudden playing with her hair. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just noticing certain things.
Okay, now again, approach the intersection here. Woman with the hand signal, hands behind the head. Okay? Now, pay attention because you're going to see a lady with a yellow jacket here. And as I approach, she's going to start walking towards me, opens up her hand.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, let's go. I didn't even see what she had. in her hand.
My hair is itchy, my neck.
But let me mute this. Okay, now she starts walking towards me. See that? Okay, now she was standing there. You can see from the video, quite, quite a way back. And the minute I start approaching her, she started walking forward, and she has something in her hand. I don't know what it is she's trying to show me. It looks like a piece of paper or something like that. Okay. All right, so let's go. So we were having a discussion about Kanye West and, you know, the fact that he supports Donald Trump and stuff like that, and, you know, we just got into a little bit of a spat because, you know, she told me that I'm too pro-black. So I said, you know, what do you mean I'm too pro-black? You know, so I said to her, you know, loving who I am as a black person, as a black man, loving black people, that makes me too pro-black. And again, that's the conditioning that has been done to a lot of black people, whereas when they meet someone who love being black, okay, somehow they feel threatened. Somehow they feel uncomfortable, okay? They want the watered down black person, okay? The person who will speak bad about black people all the time. Someone who will, you know, put white people up on a pedestal. Someone who, you know, a black person who will kiss ass to, you know, I guess move up corporate ladder while ignoring, you know, other black people behind them, won't turn around and give a helping hand to bring that other black person up. Something that every other group of people do to their own. But if you're a black person, these other black people feel that, you know what, you shouldn't do that. Okay? They will praise other groups of people for doing exactly that. But if a black person do it, they feel uncomfortable. That person is too pro-black. So she says to me, so I said to her, I said, you should be pro-black yourself. She says to me, I'm not pro-black, I'm pro-human. Like, really? I'm like, well, you know what? I love all human beings, but I understand and I live in a society where white supremacy dominates everything. Okay? So, white people are pro-white, Asian people are pro-Asian people, and you hear them say it all the time. They will help their own before they help anybody else. Okay? Same thing with Indian people, you know, other groups of people, you know, Muslims, they do the same thing. As I said, Arabs, they do the same thing with their own, especially when they come to the United States. But somehow, if you are a black person and you want to see black people come out of their predicament, you want to support black people in a way that other groups support their own kind, then, you know, you're too pro-black and they feel uncomfortable. Okay, so that's interesting.
A little bit crazy, but he's not insane. Okay?
Drug influence.
He's not. No, he's not drug influence.
He was.
So we're talking about Kanye West here, you know?
You need to start hanging back up with.
And again, she's like, again, I'm pro-black. But hey, you know what? I'm proud to be pro-black. Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't any black person be pro-black? Okay, except for those, again, who have been, and which is the majority of black people, I'm not going to lie, they have been conditioned to put other groups of people above them or on a pedestal, and then they turn around and look at their own and put them down, degrade them, you know, do the same thing that other groups of people that are negatively doing to them, to black people, right? These groups of black people will do the same thing. So yeah, I am pro-black. I'm very proud of it. You know, I'm not against any other group of people. You know, but I live in reality. Okay, I know how other groups of people treat black people, and there are other black people out there who work with a lot of white people, and they get lost. They forget until they get a wake-up call. Okay, and it may not be the people who they work with, but it could be that white police officer who dragged them out of their car and beat their asses up. Could be that company they go for that job interview, that they get turned down simply because they're black, not because they didn't have the skill. Okay, these things happen. You know, as black people, black men and women, we make a lot less doing the same job compared to white people, and that's a fact. Okay, so stating the truth and stating facts, you know, makes you feel uncomfortable because you live in your bubble. Okay, then hey, that's on you. Okay, but you know, I'm gonna keep loving black people. I'm gonna keep being proud to be a black person, and I love black people. You know what I'm saying, that's it. Now let me say this: you could be pro-human and pro-black at the same time. Okay, it just means that, listen, I love everybody, okay, but I also love myself and I love my people, and I want to see my people do well and myself do well. Okay, it shouldn't have to be because you want to see black people do well, then you're against other groups. Black people are not like that. Other groups are like that. They have historically shown that that is who they are. Okay, so again, just want to put that out there.
Yeah, picture of this chick. She looks so gross. It's like, it makes me want to throw up to look at her.
Oh, I think he has a beautiful physique.
That's disgusting to me.
No, that's you. No, I think she has a beautiful physique.
We're just opposite. We just need to agree to disagree.
So she shows me a picture of a female bodybuilder. I mean, the girl wasn't that big. She wasn't like, the heavyweights of the female bodybuilder. I would say she is the lightweight. Like, if she was to compete, she would be in the lightweight class, right? So she doesn't like it. But listen, I find people who take care of themselves, sculpt their body, I think it looks beautiful. Okay, so she finds it looks disgusting. Listen, there are some female bodybuilder that I'm like, okay, that's too big. I mean, I wouldn't say I find it disgusting, but it's just not my thing. Okay, I'm not attracted to that. Now, if she's a little bit muscular, that's fine. So because of that, she generalizes everything. Okay, so now we're like, we just
almost always disagree. So we just need to disagree.
And that's not true. The fact is that we don't always disagree, and I've said that. But because if I don't agree with one thing that she says, she will generalize it and make it about everything. And because, again, the conditioning that has been done, okay, the brainwashing that's been done is you have people walking around here, majority of people who are very self-centered, especially a lot of women who and men too. So let me be fair. A lot of women and men who are very self-centered, who, if you don't see their point of view, or if you don't agree with their point of view, all of a sudden, you know, they will take that one thing, okay, and generalize it about, you know, well, we don't disagree on anything, you know, because again, they are a very self-centered person. And when I had said to her, I said, you know what, I'm going to stop supporting Kanye West, because the fact that he supports a guy in the White House who accepts white supremacy, who accept Nazis as very decent people, who is doing everything to take away the rights of minorities in this country, and you have someone who's going to support somebody like that, and you're talking about how you're not going to stop supporting, you're going to still support him. Yeah, that's huge for me. That's huge for me. Okay.
We almost always disagree.
But we disagree.
And then you see the construction worker here as he's walking up.
Agree to disagree.
The hand signal.
Almost always disagree. So we just need to disagree.
We almost always disagree.
We almost always disagree.
But we disagree on important things.
Yeah.
You know, with your pro-human, which is fine to be. Yeah, I'm pro-human too, but I'm more pro-black.
There you go. Okay. And then she says to me that,
you know what?
Stop living in fear.
I love myself.
Like, seriously? Because I'm pro-black, I'm living in fear? Like, how does that equate to a person living in fear?
Black, I love myself.
And I also, like I said,
I'm pro-black when it makes sense too. What you mean? What you mean is pro-black when it makes sense?
Because sometimes just supporting black people or black when it doesn't, when you're not looking at facts and relativity.
Okay. Just like how with white people, you don't think about how they behave towards black people? Huh?
I do look at their behavior towards black people.
Please.
And that's why I won't move to the South, and I don't do stereotypes.
And she's like, see, because she thinks that she lives in New York City, okay, and she has a good paying job. She's working with she's working with these Pakistani doctors, these Indian doctors. I guarantee you, she was working with predominantly white doctors, she'll be saying a different tune, okay? But again, you have some people who is going to overlook the ills that certain groups of people do to black people, and because they want to climb that corporate scale, or they trying to have a position, that they're going to overlook and not speak out against certain things. And we see this in society every day, particularly when it comes to black people. And the people that do speak out against the ills and the injustice are the ones that are that their careers being destroyed, they're being discredited. And you know what? People don't want that to happen to them. But you know what? If the majority of people speak out, they can't do that to all of us. Okay? And then in turn, we can build and then help those who they have ostracized, who they've destroyed, who created destroy, to have a career back, maybe something different, like Colin Kaepernick, blacklisted, blackball, can't find a job in the NFL. And all he did was took the knee to protest against police brutality against unarmed black people. Okay, look at Muhammad Ali, what they've done to him, and they did to him. Okay, there are countless of others that we don't even realize and know about, because you know what, they've been blackmailed into silence, career destroyed, made homeless, all that sort of thing. Anybody who speaks out against the ills of this society, they will attack. Okay?
You think New York is any better?
No, and like I said, I'm the one who has experienced racism, but that doesn't mean I'm going to discount everyone. Everyone I meet is case by case basis. I'm not going to go out there and preach.
And that's fine. And I'm not prejudging people, but I'm going to make a generalized statement. White people make a general statement against black people all the time. Look at all those black people. They're all on welfare. They all, look at these black kids. They have no father. Okay? When a white person look at a black woman walking with her child, they automatically think that she's a single mother. Not all of them, but the majority of them, that's the thought that's in their mind. So, they can generalize and do all of that, but we can't. You see the conditioning, you see the programming that they've done to us?
Well, they're prejudging you.
I don't care.
That's what I said, exactly. And so, again, as black people, she's like, I don't care if they prejudge me. You should care. You know, and then she's like, well, you know, I show them whatever I show them. Again, you don't have to show them. You be who you are. If they can't see it, screw them. You know? So you have to go above and beyond to please these people, to show them, oh, that you're not the stereotypical black woman. Ridiculous.
The classy black chick.
That don't mean shit.
Classy black chick.
I-
You know,
Nigel.
How many doctors get pulled over by police? How many people
But
get?
that's
How many
because
people?
the
people
judge didn't get to
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
there
saying.
you go. And exactly what I'm saying to her, you know, she gets, it's just funny with this woman. But listen to what she's going to say.
You can't say nothing. You're not.
See that? You can't live your life in fear. How am I living my life in fear? Right?
It's not about living your life in fear. It's about being honest and being aware.
Thank you, Nigel. I'm speaking to myself here. Thank you. It's funny.
Live your life
All
in
right.
fear.
All right, let me go because all right, let's speed up because I want to get to this part right here. So
But always
I
remember.
am at this stoplight and there's a car in front of me that's way up at the other light. Okay. Let me speed this up just to try to shorten up this video. All right, so let's go here. All right, so this car, again, great car, again, remember, you know, they will space out. You know, today is not so much, you know, a lot of great cars, but they'll do it strategically now, even more strategically, more subtle, more subdued. So all of a sudden this vehicle here slows down, right? Got its lights on. Okay, let's see. All right, got its lights blinking. All right. Okay, what number is that in the license plate? You see that? Number 32. Okay. Slows down now. Now, slows down again. Okay. There you go. There's a number again. Okay, so now as I'm driving, car in front of me. Now this is consecutively now, and it's going to turn where I normally turn when I'm going back. Again, the number 32 in the license plate. See here, 321, 32, 1. Okay. Followed by, as I pull up to the stoplight, police vehicle. Okay, you see that? Again, they're going to mask, okay? Masking it efficiently enough because, again, I know the tactics, I know the method, and here I am explaining it to you guys. So they will change up the tactics, as you can see. Alright? Okay, alright, now. Now, the fire truck didn't show up, but this FDNY plant ops, I don't know what that is, psyops, black ops. All of a sudden, this plant ops shows up. Okay. It's funny, and again, this is a street there that he's playing at, right? So he stops right here. Okay, let's go back and go back 10 seconds. He stops right here. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. That was the doorbell, and of course it was a FedEx truck outside. All right, so he stops right here. Why he stops there? This car is moving. He had space in front of him that he can move it with. He stops right here. Now look what's going to happen here. Okay. Acting like maniacs. Acting like maniacs. It's all street there though. Okay. Okay, so all right, so up to okay, now see this guy standing in the street. It's another perp. As approach, he has his phone in his hand, turns around, and walks off. Please excuse the interruption. I apologize. Okay, so as I show you, the guy as I approach, he was standing in the street. As I approach, walks back on the sidewalk and kept walking. So obviously he wasn't waiting for a bus or anything like that. He was at the bus stop, and so you know that's what they do. Okay. All right. Let me end the video here. Now, got parking, and when I got on the block, I had to get out the car to move. There was a broken, half of a broken bottle, okay, right where I'm parked at, and I had to basically get out and throw it in the garbage. Okay, so. Actually, I think, you know what, I'm going to end the video right here, and I'm going to do another video of the PSYOPs as I was parked up waiting for 10 o'clock so I can get out the vehicle and go upstairs so I won't get a ticket. So I'm going to end the video here because I know it's going to be a very long video if I continue. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to do a second video showing the PSYOPs, the rest of the PSYOPs.